Hello students, I am Professor Namrata Hampihori from Department of Commerce and Accountancy. Welcome you all for the Company Law and Administration class. So today we are going to start with one more unit of this subject, that is company meeting. This is your fourth unit. So here, what is meeting? Company meeting. So as generally when we hear this word meeting, that means here gathering of the people for some important discussion and to take some decisions. So in company here the word meeting means gathering or assembling of the directors or the shareholders or both of them for taking the certain decision on the agenda before them. So here the meeting will be conveyed to them for achieving the certain objectives or to goals. Then the meeting might be held here face to face or virtually, that is online, such as by the use of technology for the communication, such as conference call or the video call. So here the purpose is here that to discuss some important topic or to make some important decision, the important people or the concerned people of that matter are gathered here to take a certain important decision. So in case of the company, shareholders or the directors play an important role in the meeting. Then why to have a meeting? Why do we need to have the meeting of the or like in a company? To solve the certain problems, like if there are any queries or any difficulties, then to solve them we need to conduct a meeting. Then to make a certain decision, to make a various plans, that is upcoming what we need to do, and to gather or convey the information. If the company wants to convey any information or to give any information, then it have to gather a meeting. Then to get a response to the information, that is priorly if any information is provided, then what is the opinion, for that the meeting is conveyed here. Then to obtain certain approval, that is permission, and clarify the responsibility, and to create a sense of teamwork, right? So here the teamwork shows that the teamwork shows here the progress towards the company's objective. Then here coming to the types of meetings. So here the types of meetings are classified into the three main categories, that is meeting for the board, and the meetings for the members, and there will be the meeting for creditors. So these meetings are held separately, not all of them are gathered and the meeting is taken. The meeting is held for these three categories separately. So further, director meetings are classified into the board meeting or meeting of subcommittee of directors. Then coming to the meeting of members, here it is classified into statutory meeting, annual general meeting, extraordinary general meeting, and class meeting. Now this statutory meeting of a company have been cancelled in the Companies Act 2013. So we have only the three classification of the members meeting, that is AGM, that is annual general meeting, EGM, extraordinary general meeting, and a class meeting. Then coming to the meeting of the creditors, that is meeting of debenture holders and the meeting of other creditors. So these were the classification of meetings. Then coming to the prerequisites of the valid meeting, that is to say that the meeting is a valid one or the meeting should have a certain importance. So as it is a meeting of the director and the shareholders, the matters discussed will be very serious and important. So the valid reason or the requirement for that meeting is very essential. So here what must be prior things that should be done before the meeting is conducted. So before the meeting is conducted here, there should be appropriate authority, that is to whom are you conveying the meeting, whether it is a directors meeting or only the members meeting or the creditors meeting. Then next the notice should be given, then the quorum must be set, then the agenda, then the chairperson or the chairman of that particular meeting should be there. So here these are the certain necessary things which are being which are required before you start up with the meeting, and this is provided in the law and the articles of associations. Now let us see them one by one. So in case if these steps are not being followed or properly it has not been conveyed, then the meeting is considered here as a invalid. So in case to consider the meeting as a valid, these points are to be followed. Then the appropriate authority. So the first element is it must be called by the appropriate authority. So your appropriate authority means board of directors, members and the company law board. That is who should conduct the meeting. Now simply if the employee is calling the meeting for everyone, that doesn't make a sense here. The company meeting should be called by the appropriate authority, which means that board of directors or the members or the company law board. If only these members call, then there is a weightage for that particular meeting and the point discussion will make some sense there. So here board under section 96, board has a power to call for the general meeting even if the power is not expressly confirmed upon them by the articles. So even though it has not been mentioned that the board should call the meeting, they have a right to call the meeting. So notice of general meeting is given by the directors, held as invalid if it is given without the sanction of the board. So here if the meeting you have uh, called that without any consent of the board, then the meeting will be considered as an invalid one. Then coming to the members, members who fulfill the requirements of the section 100 are eligible for the requisition of EGM. That is, there are a certain rules or the regulations that are certain criteria wherein if they are members are satisfying that criteria, then they are eligible to calling a meeting. Then the company law board can call here AGM, then EGM, that is annual general meeting and extraordinary general meeting. So when the meeting is called by that appropriate person, then only it is considered as a valid one. Then coming to the notice, which is very important. So before conducting the meeting, you should make the people or the concerned people know that there is a meeting, right? So when you give the invitation for the meeting, then only they are going to come and attend the meeting. So before you start up with the meeting, you should convey them by the notice. So here section 101 and 102 of Companies Act specify about the notice. So here notice, which is derived from the Latin word, the meaning is to hear knowledge, that is providing the knowledge about the what exactly the meeting is about. Then the meeting cannot be valid unless the proper notice has been given. So it has to provide the notice in the certain prescribed manner. Then what should be the length of the notice? How it is to be conveyed? What all the content must be there in order to consider it as a valid notice? So here a general meeting can be called by giving at least 21 days notice in writing or by the electronic mode. That is, whenever there is a meeting, you should give the notice 21 days before. Not that day after tomorrow you are keeping the meeting and today you are calling all the members for the meeting for the discussion of the certain topic. No, you have to provide the notice 21 days prior to the meeting. Then after that notice 21 days on which date you are giving the notice, additional to that 21 days the meeting will be conducted. Then what should be the length here? The general meeting may be called even after giving the short notice if the consent is given in writing or the electronical form. Not less than 95% of the member are entitled to vote for such meeting. That means what here? Actually the provision for the law says here that 21 days prior the meeting should be called. But in case if the short meeting is to be conveyed or the short meeting is to be held, so minimum 95% of the members who are coming to the that is who are willing to attend the meeting should show their consent. That is, out of the total members who are attending the meeting or who are supposed to attend the meeting, out of them 95% must be ready to attend the meeting. Then content of notice, what it should contain, it should contain the place, date, hour of meeting, that is how many hours it should be conducted. Then business to be transacted thread, that is special or an ordinary business, that is you have to consider at what type of the business meeting it is. Then to whom to send the notice, that is every member, legal representative, then official assignees into the of the insolvent members, and the auditors are to be called for the meetings here. So here every member, that is whoever is concerned, the legal representative of deceased partner, suppose for example if the partner is no more, then the deceased, whoever is a representative of him will be called for the meeting. Then official assignee of insolvent, insolvent means the bankrupt, the member who has been bankrupt here, for them official assignees are being called, then the auditors of the company are called for the meeting. Then omission to the given notice, accidentally omission, that means what, skipping here or forgetting something to give a notice shall not invalidate the proceeding at the meeting. So in case of omission, that is a skipping up of the notice of the meeting, then in that case whatever discussion is taken in the meeting will be considered here as a invalid. Why? Because the notice has not reached the concerned person here, and that's why the decision whatever is taken in the meeting will be in the absence of the other members who are not present. So that proceedings, that is proceedings means whatever has happened in the meeting, decision on that is taken as a invalid. Then coming to the quorum of the members, quorum means here how minimum number of members should be present in the general meeting in order to consider that meeting as a valid one. So here taking into the account who are qualified to take a part and deciding upon what question to be brought before the meeting. Then here the preference shareholders do not have counted, they are not counted in the forum here, right? So we have seen that preference shares do not have any voting right here, that means they do not take a part in any of the like decision making, so those are not considered here for the meeting. Then in case of the joint shareholders, only one shareholder can be, as per the order, can come for the meeting, that is he is counted for the meeting. Like if they are joint shareholders, then any one can come and attend the meeting. So here quorum decides what is the structure of the number of members, that is how many members must attend the meeting. Then here relating to that, the main provision, in case if it is a private company, then 2 members personally should be present here. But if it is, in case it is a public company, 5 members personally present if the number of member on that day of the meeting is more than 1000. Suppose in a public company if there are more than 1000, then out of that 5 members should be present. In case the members exceed from 1000 to 5000, then 15 members should be present. If they are exceeding 5000 members, then at least 30 members should be present to the meeting here. Then coming to the fourth point here is agenda of the meeting. So here agenda is very important. So agenda will specify what is going to happen in the meeting, for what purpose are they calling the meeting, right? So already in the notice we will be knowing that what is the purpose, but here the systematically, that is right from the first hour to the last hour of the meeting, what all is going to happen here, what are the points we will have to discuss, and who is going to speak about the meeting. So it is a list of the things that to be dealt especially in the meeting, that is what are we going to do in the meeting, right? So the meeting is called by, and what is the attendance here, how many members have attended, are to be are written here in the meeting, sorry, in the agenda of the meeting. Then it is a part of the notice, notice of the meeting, which indicates the list of the business issue to be transacted in the meeting, that is what is to be discussed in the meeting is specified there. Then how to create this agenda, the state the purpose of the meeting, that is for what you are calling the meeting. Then organize the items that has to be discussed in order to the importance, that is, now suppose for example you have 10 points which are to be discussed. So arrange them properly according to the importance, which matter is relevant or which matter is very important to be solved now, what is to be discussed before, that are to be listed first, and the things which are least priority, that is less priority, are listed at the last. Then you have to describe and explain why it must be addressed, that is why this particular topic have to be discussed, that is to be mentioned. Then you have to first set out the limit for the discussion, that is they have to discuss or they have to already set a time limit, that is you should speak only for this much minute, right? That will be specified so that the meeting will wind up in a proper time. Then next, what objective of the agenda, that will bring to the notice that in advance what all, that is it will bring out what matters should be discussed there. Then it will help to prepare the members in advance, that is members will be prepared in advance, that is how what is to be discussed. Then it will help to remove the confusion. Then it will help to bring the discipline in the meeting, that is the person shouldn't think that what is the next point to be discussed, yes now what that is what points you all have or what is to be discussed further will be quickly noted if the agenda is ready. There will be no confusion or there will be no time wastage if the agenda is placed. Then next, the chairperson, that is the person who will be the chairman of that particular meeting. So if the articles of association of the company do not contain any provision for the appointment of the chairman, then such person shall be appointment is made by showing the hands in the meeting, that is by giving the vote. Who should be the chairman of the meeting will be specified by giving the votes, that is raising the hand or telling the opinion. Then if the poll is demanding the election of the chairman, it should be taken immediately. When the chairman is elected for all elected, then the till the other person is elected for the that particular poll. So these were the 5 requisites which were very important, that is authority will be there, notice should be sent, there should be a proper quorum, and there should be a chairperson. Then next year appointment of the chairman will be under the articles here, which is given in the regulation 45 of table F. It says that the chairman of any of the board shall preside as a chairman, that is if he is a board chairman, then even he is a chairman for GM here. And if there is no chairman or he is not present within 15 minutes before of the appointment of the meeting, or if he is unwilling to be the chairman, then the director present shall be elect one among themselves, that is whoever are the directors shall become the chairman for that particular meeting, that is restricted to on that particular meeting only. Then 47 of table F says that if the meeting if at the meeting there is not even the director who is willing to act as a chairman, or if the director is present, if he is not present within 15 minutes of the appointment, then the members present should choose one among themselves to be the meeting. So here if the chairman is there, then he will be taking over the charges. If not, then the director will be acting as a chairman for that particular meeting. If not, even then the member among themselves will be elected as a chairman for the meeting. So these were all the prerequisites or the necessary things before we start with the valid meeting. Then under classification we have here first that is the meeting of the members. So in that the first classification is annual general meeting. So a section 96 of Companies Act 2013 provides that every company other than the one person company shall in every year hold at least one meeting of its shareholders each year. That is, every company must have one annual general meeting compulsorily. So it is a statutory requirement. We can say that it is a compulsory that they should hold the annual general meeting, although the company is holding many other meetings in a year. So here it is called as an AGM, which is very important that every company must have or conduct this meeting. So it is a statutory requirement of every company. So here the general clause says that in every 12 months one AGM should be held. Then the proper authority to call the AGM is board of director. That is who will be calling the meeting. The board of director will be calling the meeting here. Then next, what are the objective of holding this AGM, that is annual general meeting? What is the objective is to review the functioning of the company. It is essential that the shareholder must assemble at least one in a year. That is to give the review, that is what is going on in the company, how it is functioning, to give the overall opinion or the working of the company. This meeting is to be conveyed. Then taking into the taking consideration of the accounts, balance sheet and the reports of board directors and the auditor, that is the financial matters and the documents which are related to the finance are to be presented. Then final dividends are to be decided and declared in the meeting. That is, we know that dividend is a return what we give to the shareholders, that is how much is to be given, that is discussed here. And if there is appointment of any director, and that is specified here, then along with that the appointment and the fixation of remuneration to the auditors. So discussed these few of the points, the AGM will be called. That is, if these points are to be discussed, those are discussed only in the AGM. Then after coming to the after completing with the objectives, then how it is to be held, that is how, what are the legal provision to hold the annual general meeting. First is time period, that is if it is for the first time, if the AGM is called for the first time, then that should be taken within the 9 months of the closing of the financial year of the company. That is within one, when you start with the company, within 9 months you should have one annual general meeting. Then if the AGM is so held, there is no need to hold the AGM in the year of its incorporation. That is, after its incorporation, there is no necessary to conduct the annual general meeting if they have conducted within the 9 months, that to the first annual general meeting of the company. Then after that, then that is after your first annual general meeting, then the AGM should be held within the 6 months from the date of closing financial year. Then next AGM should be held within 15 months of last AGM. That is, whenever you have held the last AGM, within the 15 months of that, the next AGM should be held. Then here registrar may also may for any special reason can grant the extension up to 3 months. That is, in case of like certain cases, the AGM, if it is not held within the 15 months, then that can be held, 3 months extension can be given to the such meetings. Then coming to the time, place and day of the AGM. Timing is the AGM should be held in between the 9 AM to 6 PM. That is not that however it is convenient, but it is as per the section of the Companies Act. Then AGM should be held on that day wherein there shouldn't be any national holiday, okay, or any government holiday which is being declared, that is on date of 15th August you can say, or 26th Jan. In such case of national holidays, the meeting shouldn't be conducted. Then where it should be held, then the AGM shall be held at the registrar office of the company, or with some other place within the city or the town or the village where the registered office is situated. So that shouldn't be the place like anywhere we can conduct. There is a specified place, that is either at the registrar office or at any official place where the registered company's office is situated. Then what are exception? That is, if the day is declared by the CG to be holiday, that is central government, after the issue of notice, it shall not be deemed to be the public holiday in relation to that meeting. That is, in case if the government declares any day as a holiday because of some reasons, then these rules are not to be followed. Then where the AGM adjourned because of lack of quorum, if it is to be held on the same day, the next day, time, place in the next week, even if that is a public holiday. That is, in case if the quorum means, here we have seen, that is minimum number of the members should be present for the meeting. If the minimum numbers are not present, then that meeting will be invalid. That means it should be postponed. So if that is postponed, even then it is a holiday, we have to conduct the meeting. So that is the exception for the above cases. Then coming to the report of the AGM, that is, after the discussion of your meeting, the agenda will, that the notice will be given, then they will be showing then concern, that is, they will be coming for meeting, then the agenda will be kept. Then after the discussion, the report have to be prepared for this annual general meeting, under the section 121. So here it says that it is compulsory that every listed public company have to prepare their report in a certain prescribed manner only. That is, whatever the discussion had been taken, they have a specified list or the specified format. According to that, they have to fill the details of the reports. Then a report on each AGM shall be include the confirmation to the effective that the meeting was convened, held and conducted as per the provision of Act. That is, after every AGM you should specify that the meeting whatever we have conducted is not against the company law or not against the law which has been stated. It is according to the rules and regulations only. Then a copy of that report should be filed with the registrar in form number 15 within the 30 days of that meeting. That is, before you complete with the 30 days of that meeting, you should report that with the registrar of the company. Then here the central government may exempt any company from the aforesaid provision subject to the condition as it may impose. That is, like, if in case of the special matter, the exemption will be given for the report. Then default in the holding the AGM, that is, if company default in holding the AGM, the following two consequences will be followed. That is, if the company is not conducting, or if it has failed to conduct or held this AGM, then they have to face the following consequences. That is, the National Company Law Tribunal may direct the calling of an AGM provided any member of the company approaches with this regard. That is, if the company fail, then NCLT will be calling for the meeting, wherein the member of the that is, any number of the member can attend here. Then even it may even direct that one member of the company present in the in the person or by the proxy shall be deemed to constitute the meeting. That is, proxy means here what? That is, instead of that particular person, any representative member can come and attend. So any number of the members can come, the meeting will be conducted. That is according to the 97. Then according to the section 99, if they have failed to call the meeting, it is an offence which is punishable with the fine, which may extend to the 1 lakh rupees on the company and every office of the under every officer of the company. That is, if they fail to conduct the meeting at the proper time, then they will be penalized with 1 lakh rupees. Then in case if it continues further also, then the fine may be extended up to 5,000 every day. That is, every day they have to pay a penalty of 5,000 rupees. So this was how the AGM, that is annual general meeting, is called, wherein along to convey some message to the shareholders and to the board of the directors will be calling this meeting. So I hope you are clear with the requisites, what is meaning, what is required for the meaning, and the first meeting is your annual general meeting.